weird, isn't it, how as soon as we perfect anything, we want to ruin it again. Like digital photography, we make it all kind of perfect. And the first thing we want to do is add filters to make it look soft and make it look a little, well, rubbish again, really. And we're comfortable with that. Same with audio. You know, we've got to a stage where we can produce very, very clean sounding audio. But what we want to do now is add filters to it to make it sound bad again, to make it sound a bit more organic, a bit more real again. And yeah, that's just the way it works. But today I'm looking at a filter that does exactly that. And it probably does it to some major extreme, if I'm honest. It's quite an excessive example of this. And it is an effect, a Reaktor 6 effect. If you just go to Google and just type in Reaktor and VHS, you'll come straight up with it. It's this VHS Audio Degradation Suite. It's actually authored by James Peck, so I can take no credit for this whatsoever. I'm just going to show you this because I found it the other day and I absolutely love it. A couple of my videos recently, I've quoted the fact that I've been watching some of the Computer Chronicles on YouTube, and it's just a fascinating series that went on for years about the development of the computer industry. And they cover so many topics because they had the time to do it. When you watch those programs back, they're clearly taken off VHS, and the warbling wow and flutter of the VHS and the compressed, the kind of the NTSC look that they have about them. It's 80s NTSC color is just weird, at least it is to me. And this is what I wanted to kind of reproduce, and this is what I found to do it. So I've put this in. You need Reaktor Player to do this. So I've got Reaktor Player in here, and because, oh no, I need my FX, don't I? So I'm going to drop my FX onto my audio track here in Ableton. And I don't actually have a full version of Reaktor 6. I've only got the player, and because this is a non-official effect, you can only use it for 30 minutes, but that's fine for what I'm doing, and it's fine for messing around. So here it is, the VHS 1 plugin. So it warns me there about the fact I've got half an hour left to use this. And yes, you can see it here in all its glory. It's great. But before I get into that, I'm just going to close that down a second, turn it off. I'm going to add a song from Anders Enger Jensen. And you probably are familiar with this stuff if you've ever watched either 8-Bit Guy, Tecmo, and there's probably quite a few other channels as well that use some of his music. Norwegian composer. And I got in contact with him and just said, look, I'd love to use one of your 80s sounding retro songs because I think it would fit perfectly with this video. And so he pointed me in the direction of a couple of songs, and I bought them online. And this is the one I'm going to use. I can't find it now. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's drop this in. And before I begin with the actual effect side of things, so you might want to skip forward a minute at this point, I'm going to just play you this in its original glory so you can actually hear what I'm going to be using today. So this is a song called Falling in Love with You. On TDCatTech FM. How you doing? Now, it's absolutely no, I'm not saying this music sounds bad and should sound bad, but I think it's a perfect song to put through a VHS plugin because it sounds like it could be from that era, and that's what I love about this type of music. I mean, to me, that is my nostalgia and my decade of growing up with music. So yeah, that's the song we're going to be using, and let's have a listen and see what we can come up with. So let's firstly enable the plugin here. And by default, it's set to 90s VHS tape, but I find that a good starting point for what I've been trying to achieve is 1980s Pawn Shop. Pawn, P-A-W-N. I know this is the internet, but come on. Right, so let's have a listen and see how that sounds. Right, there we go. I don't know if you can hear in the background there, but you've got the just the ambient sound that this effect produces. And some of the key ones that we're going to look at today, I'm going to actually take flutter out of it entirely. I don't want flutter, but I am interested in warp, wow, wear, compression, and high cuts. So let's have a listen to the track like this. All right, levels are possibly a bit high. So what I'm going to do initially is take down the wear, and I'm also going to add some warp to it. So what the warp does, it has that slow adjustment in speed that tapes had. So not wow, where wow is kind of a visible, audible pitch change, but it's fairly quick usually. A warp is just a very slow drift up and down in that speed of the tape. I don't know, you're probably just better to hear it to know what I'm talking about. Let's have a go at adding some of that now. Yeah, you can hear it's coming along a bit, but let's add a little bit more hum. Let's add some hum to this, because a lot of videos also had this sort of, I presume this is probably 60 hertz actually, but let's add a bit. So we're going to make this sound pretty bad. And some additional noise there as well. We could even add some crackles. I'm not sure why you'd get crackles necessarily on a tape, but it still sounds good for this. I'm not going to start it every time, so let me just put it on. See, on those synths there, you can hear the warp coming in. It's brilliant. I'll just shove it up just to really emphasize the point. Yeah, you can hear there that it's got a massive amount of junk in the background. So let's just have a listen and try and cut some of the highs and see whether that helps us at all. Bit of compression. Gives it that real pumping sound. And what you can also do on this is emulate mic types. So you can turn on a particular sort of mic so you can say like the BBC Marconi Type B microphone here, and everything that goes through will sound similar to that. That works better on vocals, actually. So yeah, I think this sounds pretty convincing. Quite bad. Perfect for making an 80s retro video. But there are so many things that you can do with this. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit now. There's so many things you can do with this. So we've got sort of the tone of it, the drive onto the of the whole thing. So let's listen to. can really kill it. Compression, obvious. Saturation levels, really push the low stuff, so it all sounds distorted. Same with the high, so the high just breaks and becomes a smeared, splattered mess. And then, yeah, these, as I've already gone through, so you got warp, flutter, which is the very kind of flutter you don't notice in pitch so much, but you just hear it. It's very, very high kind of frequency. We hear it more in kind of reverb, really. And then wow. Wow and flutter, very common sort of terms used to describe tape and transport of tape. And then where is an overall one that seems to just generally make it sound a compressed mess, really. So if I push up the wear on this, just as an overall, I don't know, how crap do you want it to really sound? And if you want it to really sound bad, push the wear right up. But yeah, if you're after anything to do this sort of thing, this is just a wonderful effect for a Reaktor. You can get Reaktor Player for free. I just love this stuff. What do you think? It's a bit unfair on Anders, isn't it? His music sounds great. Anyway, thank you for watching. I just wanted to show you this effect. And you can download it yourself. As I say, just go to Google, just type in Reaktor, spelled with a K, and VHS, and you'll find that effect. And go to the Native Instruments website, download their player, and you can use it in your projects for like half an hour without buying Reaktor. So really good. Love it. Catch you soon.